Today I decided to make a list of ships that I like to use around the verse in Star Citizen. It's going to be broken up into subgroups, some smaller, some larger. These are mainly just the ships I use, my favorites for each types, and I just figured it'd be fun to do and practice my editing abilities just a little bit. So if you're interested or ever wondered or have any questions, I figured I'd do this just for the fun of it. Without further ado, here we go. Very low risk threat to high risk threat PvE bounties. For these, I like to use the F8C Lightning. All with laser repeaters, a full laser repeater build out. I don't modify the ship at all other than that. I know a lot of you don't have one of these or can't get one. If that's the case, if you're a normal person and not an idiot like me that owns one of these, I'd recommend basically the Hornet of your choice, Super Hornet. They do about the same job. The F8C is just the next generation upgrade lore-wise from the F7C Hornet. So the Lightning's the F22 and the Hornet's the F15 basically, if you want to use that analogy. Very high risk threat to extreme risk threat PvE bounties. For these, I like to use the Ares Inferno. I used to use the Glaive, but it doesn't work as well. A lot of people like to say this ship has been nerfed. It may have been, but it is still freaking amazing. You can do at least 8 very high risk threat bounties and still have half an ammo magazine left after killing all the ships, even if you're a bad shot. You do have to be a decent shot though, because sometimes the servers will glitch out and the lag pips or the lead pips will mess up. You'll have to know how to adapt to that, but this is an incredible ship for fighting anything larger. I use it mostly in very high risk threat, not so much in ERTs, but it works great for both. Extreme risk threat bounties. For ERTs, I like to use the Eclipse. A second choice would be the Retaliator Bomber, but it's a little harder to fly. It's a really good ship if you have friends, but solo I prefer the Eclipse. It's only really good for ERTs because the torpedoes are so expensive to replace, to restock, that you pretty much just want to do ERTs with this. Group warrant ERTs are good. The stringing together normal ERTs is easier though, because you almost always get a hammerhead. The Inferno works well. It's more fun to use the Inferno. Restocking the Inferno is really cheap. But I like to loop ERTs to make money using the Eclipse. It's just quick and easy, it's stealthy, and it gets the job done. Solo PvP. Currently the only PvP ship I use is the Hornet Ghost, full cannon loadout with the ball turret and nose turret installed. Pretty much any Hornet can equip these things. I'm not 100% sure if the Super Hornet has an extra cut or not. The reason I like the Hornet Ghost is because it's stealthy. It's meta right now, but that doesn't matter. Don't go chasing meta, that's pointless. The real reason I use it for the stealthiness is I kinda suck at PvP, and it might let me get away easier. As in I don't have to run as far before they lose me, right? That's the only reason I use it. It is a very good PvP ship though, solo anyway. There's other ships that are good, like the Hurricane or the X-Wing, the Scorpius, for 2 people. Even the Cuddy Blue, which we'll get into just a little later. But for solo PvP, this is the one I use. It's also going to be the ship I probably troll around Pyro in, for obvious reasons. General Purpose Multi-Role. This probably doesn't come as a surprise to anybody, but my first pick for this is the Corsair. It's just an amazing overall ship. It has the highest DPS, pilot-controlled DPS in the game. It's Star Wars-y, it feels amazing. It has 2 points of entry, one of them going to the roof, which is weird, but useful. Multiple beds, a galley, everything you could possibly need to live in out in the middle of nowhere. It's just a very good multi-purpose, for lack of a better phrase, pirate ship, but multi-role ship. It can hold a ROC in the back, it can hold a Lynx rover or an Ursa rover in the back, or a Pisces in the back, but I tend to use it to haul my ROC. It's just the overall, when I'm not sure what to fly, what I use, the ship I go to. Another good ship for this role is the Constellation series, my favorite being the Phoenix. That's the one I use sometimes. The Constellation Andromeda is technically better in every way. It's a lot easier to get. It's just a better ship. It's just not as cool looking inside. If you're into hauling cargo, you have the Taurus, but it doesn't have a snub fighter. Not that the snub fighters are working this patch anyway. I like to use the Phoenix, load the Lynx in the back, and go loot goblin mode on derelict outposts, steel guns, P4AR, stuff like that. It works really good for that. It's an easy flying ship, it's very universal, and I can just drive around in the rover and shoot NPCs. It's kind of fun. It's a good way to collect guns and not have to pay anything for them. So either way, the Corsair or one of the Constellation ships are some of the best all-rounders in the game. Then there's the Bennu Defender, lesser known as the shuttle for the Bennu Merchantman that may or may not ever be released. It's a very good little multi-role medium fighter. I'd like to replace the Alien Disruptor cannons with, I think they're FL-33s, laser cannons. a VK00 quantum drive because it has a massive fuel tank. It works very well for traveling long distances. With that quantum drive, this thing will go across the solar system like it's nothing. It is basically my long-range shuttle that's good for hauling a couple of people, or picking up packages, or just tooling around, going places, doing little bounties here and there. It can pretty much handle anything it gets thrown at it. It is a little papery. It doesn't tank awesome. It's not bad, but it is very nimble. It's fast. And equipped the right way, it will put out a lot of firepower. It can kill a lot of things. It is just an overall very neat and good ship. Then we have the 350R. It's not as good a racer as it is just a local flying around local solar system, smaller solar system ship. It's good for delivering packages in the same solar system, like in Stanton. It's just fun to fly. It's not particularly useful, I just like to fly it. I wouldn't recommend it, it's just a ship that I use. And then we have the Pisces, which is a good little get out of places shuttle. It's good for picking up people at prison. It can be spawned on moons. It's a good ship. It's not great at anything other than just being a shuttle. These are just general purpose honorable mentions that I use and I like. The 350R is fun, but the Pisces they're just ships. They're good ships. Ground attack and bunker runners. You probably already know what's going to be on this list, but the first one is the A1. It works very well for going to derelict outposts, especially if you have to do a package mission there, or if you need to loot something there. It has 10 bombs. One bomb, if placed well, can kill all the NPCs, and then you just land and pick stuff up, and then you leave. And if for some reason the bombs don't get everybody, you can shoot people with ship guns. It works pretty well. It's a little difficult, but you can make it work. But I like to fly in, bomb the derelict outpost, loop around, make sure everyone's dead, land, grab the package, and go. It's a little hard to get into hangars right now because they barely fit, but it is a good overall ship for going in, blasting the hell out of everything, and leaving. And obviously, the second choice, the Scourge of Chumptown, is the Hercules A2. It has 4 massive bombs. I like to call them war crime bombs. It has a bunch of turrets on the bottom. It's basically a space AC-130. You can fit a couple of tanks in the bottom of it. And one bomb will kill anything that's not outside, or that's not inside. It'll give it time. But yeah, this is an incredible ship. You just need a large crew or a full crew to really make use of it. You can fly it solo, doing a bombing run, or if you're going to haul tanks into a war zone or something like that. But it's best off used as a ground assault, full crewed ship. It's a lot of fun flying over like a derelict outpost with your friends on the turrets, shooting at the ground, then landing, pulling out the tanks, or making a pass and dropping a MOAB or a mini nuke, whatever we call them, just to make sure. It's a really good ship. It's just really expensive. People either love it or hate it, but not a lot of people own them. Highly recommended, though. Then the best bunker runner, in all honesty, right now is the Carrack. Talking about underground bunkers. And that's only because of the med bed, and it's easier to land than the 890 jump. You can spawn on it. That's the only reason it's good for a bunker runner. You can haul an Ursa out of it and load up full of stuff, loot. It makes a good bunker runner, especially with friends. Although, you can run bunkers with any ship. Anything that flies there, if you want to loot anything with an internal cargo hold of any kind, it doesn't matter. It's just that if you're going to be doing high risk bunkers, the Carrack is really good for that because you can respawn on the ship. Space haulers. Currently the best hauling ship in the game is the Hercules C2. If you're worried about picking the right hauler, don't just buy a Hercules C2. It hauls a crap ton of cargo, hauls any of the vehicles in the game. It's just the best cargo hauler, or hauler in general, in the game right now. The Hull C does exist. It does carry the most cargo in the game right now. It's just that it's broken. It can only sell in space, and it likes to spawn on docking rings, which would be cool. It'd be a fun ship to explore the docking ring mechanics with, if you don't have an 890 or something. But it spawns outside it, and you can't get to it right now. So it's useless altogether at the moment, at least in 3.22. So lots of potential, but right now it is just not worth dealing with. My favorite hauling ship, though, right now, is the Caterpillar, more specifically the Pirate Caterpillar. I have a green paint on mine because I like the way it looks, but the inside of the Pirate Caterpillar has these red hues and accents that the normal Caterpillar does not have, and I like the way that looks. Functionally identical, but I like the Pirate Cat. The Caterpillar is one of those ships that feels like you're in the Expanse, right? Like it has a full galley, it's got this Drake feel. It feels like a ship you could live in. It's got toilets, beds, stoves. Walking around it feels like something you'd be living in a cargo vessel in deep space for months at a time. It's even got beds for the pilots underneath, and because the pilot section is supposed to be detachable eventually. Opens on all the sides. The doors are supposed to drop down, but they don't yet. It's got a couple of turrets and pilot guns. It's not easy to fly. The C2 has better handling and more cargo capacity. You're not going to haul vehicles with this that don't fly, at least not yet anyway. But overall, it is one of the coolest ships in the game to me, and it is my favorite cargo hauling ship by far. Industrial ships. For a mining ship, I use the Prospector. The Mole is fun, it's a neat ship, but it requires multiple people, it just does. You can solo mine in it, but it's a pain. And you have to split the profit, so I just solo mine in a Prospector when I do mine. Same goes for salvaging. I usually just solo mine in a Vulture. You can use a Reclaimer, but it's a pain in the ass. Yeah, it's hard to land. And by the time Vulture's full, you're probably going to want to land and sell it anyway. It's a lot easier ship to fly by yourself. And again, you could take out a Reclaimer with friends, but then you got to split the profits. It's fun to play with friends, but you don't make any more money, really. The Vulture's got 2 points of entry. It's kind of really neat walking up the side, going through the door, then you can go out the back. This green paint on it looks awesome. But it's just a good little solo salvaging ship, and it's what I'd use. If you're looking into getting into salvaging, I'd recommend Vulture over a Reclaimer. You can think about a Reclaimer later if you really, really like it. Racing ship. Zoom zoom. The racing ship I like to use is the Fury LX. It's supposedly the fastest ship in the game with a quantum drive. Fastest racer with a quantum drive anyway. The Fury LX might be better in sharper turns, but this one can actually get there on its own, and I just like the way it looks and like flying it. So it's the one I use. I'm slowly practicing races, and I'm slowly getting better, especially with the new joysticks. But I'm still not all that great at it yet. It takes a lot of practice to do. Honorable mentions. The Cuddy Red for medical gameplay, at least until the Apollo Medivac comes out. The C8R works okay, I just like the Cuddy Red better. Eventually I'm going to have the Apollo. This is just a loaner for the Apollo, so this is what I could use currently. Then there's the Cuddy Blue. It's a good, fast, multi-purpose ship and doubles as a two-person medium fighter, and it'll be really handy when that gameplay for it comes out. And it has a quantum dampener, which I never use, but could come in handy, you never know. Plus, you got all the police lights, and it's just a fun, good ship all around. I just put all laser blasters on it to make sure, right? Then there's the Herald, the actual fastest ship in the game, and once Data Runny comes out, I'll be using this for that. It's just a cooler ship, and it's better than the MSR. Screw the MSR, at least for now. And then, of course, we can't leave without mentioning the SRV. It's just a tugboat, but currently it's one of the best money makers in the game with those $250,000 Hammerhead missions. They're probably going to patch that out soon, but we'll see. It's fun till then. But that's my list. I put a lot of work into editing this video. Hopefully it's not too annoying and someone actually likes it. I've been playing around with audio, music a little bit of AI and editing, stuff like that. And this took a lot of work to do. A lot of footage gathering, a lot of time in the audio creation, music creation. So hopefully it goes well. If not, it doesn't. If it does, it does. Either way though, thanks for watching, and I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my goofy videos. Till then, fly safe everybody.